Welcome back to the channel, guys. Firstly, apologies that this audio is not going to line up in the first two clips you're going to see because my DJI mics for some reason unbound, so they weren't recording. So this video we're going to be changing some of the parts on our Primal RC RAMINATOR. It's a 12S converted one, and we have been really kindly supplied a load of really cool parts by Vitavon. So the Vitavon parts we're going to change first are the sway bar links. Big weak point on this truck for us. They're very, very thin, they're very old. So we got these really nice new ones. They're the V2 6mm ones, all CNC machined out. Simple fix, guys. 4 screws, undo it, pop the new ones in. So that's going to be a nice, easy fix. That's going to make a big difference. We are also going to change the C hubs on the car. Again, these are a bit tired. It could do with some new bearings, so that's a really great addition. Really nice CNC machine Vitavon items going on there. And the last bit we're going to do in this video today is the steering linkage. Being an older V1 truck, this really is suffering on the steering. So if we show you the steering link, it's the Vitavon titanium one. One nice solid long bar that's going to go from the left to the right. Now this unit is really nicely made, guys. Very, very light, but really strong. All the linkages on the end are way stronger than what is on there at stock. Again, it needs replacing. So we're going to get that fitted. A nice, easy mod that's going to make it even stronger than a V4 Raminator. We've also, again, kindly supplied by Vitavon, the 12S conversion kit. Now this truck is already running one, but we've got the new gearbox. We've got the gearbox mounts, the motor mounts for a Max 4, which we already got in there, and this plate is where the transmission secures to. Also got the carbon battery trays and the Max 4 mount. So this one is going to be a lot better, I think, in the truck because it's a very top heavy truck and it does tend to roll over a lot. So with the addition of the new sway bars and the steering, it's going to handle better. And this new motor conversion is going to drop the center of gravity an awful lot lower. The motor sits backwards rather than side to side and really high up. And the batteries, again, they'll be dropped down. The ESC will be dropped down. So that's really going to lower the center of gravity. So what we need to do, we'll get all the steering changed first in this video. The C hubs and the links. We'll put away the 12S conversion because we'll save that for another video. And we're going to set about getting all the parts fitted. We've also got the Vitavon shock ends, which are going to replace the very worn out stock items that we've got. And again, that is going to improve the performance of the truck. Later on in a future video, we'll be changing the shocks to the dual items like on the Gravedigger. So let's get stuck in. Right, so the first thing we're going to change are the sway bar links. As you can see, these are very worn out, very thin metal. There's plastic ends on the links and they are pretty corroded, guys. So the best thing we can do is change them. So we're going to start by undoing the 2 screws on the top, either side. That'll drop the linkage off. And then there's one on the bottom of the shock mount. So we'll get those off. Look how much thicker these new ones are. These are, again, like I say, they're the 6mm, the 0006 part number. So if you're going to look for them, guys, that's what you need to be searching. Get hold of the Vitavon website, and there's loads and loads of Raminator parts. Also got loads on our X-Max as well there. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Cannot recommend this gear enough, guys. So basically, all we need to do, 3 screws, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. We'll take the links off, thread it through the suspension, and then we can get the new ones fitted. But when you look at the quality of these new parts, guys, they're epic. Right, guys, I had a disaster already, luckily off camera. I tried to undo the first one and it instantly rounded. Put a bit of heat on it as well. Like, these trucks are a nightmare to work on unless you heat everything up. So really, I cannot stress that enough. Make sure you heat stuff. I've just used this little Amazon blow lamp thing. So you can get it right in the heads of the screws. Works a treat. So I've drilled the first one out there. So we've got a few threads left on this last one. There we are, sorted. And that's that off. See, I've made a right mess of that, but we don't need that, so it doesn't matter. So we need to now undo this bottom one. Get the Allen key under there. I've already heated this one up, guys. Let's just tip that down so you can see where I'm working, just in behind the steering knuckle there. So we'll undo that one. I'm not going to do this on video for every single one, guys, because it'll be exactly the same 4 times, hopefully without the drilling. Okay, that's that off. Okay, so now what we need to do is turn the car around. We can take these 2 out on the other side and the bottom one, because basically all you've got is that little thing there, which hooks around the bar, and then it screws up into the chassis under there. So this is really, really flimsy, guys. It's quite surprising, actually, and how worn these parts are. So definitely due an upgrade. Like I said, this is the V2 version. As you can see, the part number there, 0006. That's the 6mm one, so we've got a much thicker bar. And then these nice long pieces there are going to replace these here. So that'll come through, and then the bars will drop down and straight onto the hub there. So what I'm going to do now, it's going to turn the camera off a second, guys, turn the truck around, we'll do the other side, then we can get fitting. Right, guys, let's get this other side off. Allen key's already in there for me. Don't forget, I've put a load of heat on this as well, guys, because these trucks really do have thread lock everywhere. Obviously, make sure you put thread lock back on all these metal parts. And that one. Now, that's that off. And the one last one we've got, tool stuck on there now. One last one we got now is that bottom one there, guys. So we'll whip that off with the Allen key. Out in there. It's one thing I really need to invest in, is some tidy tools, guys, because these Allen keys are not the best. They're a bit tricky. You need some of the screwdriver handle on them. If you know where any good ones, guys, send me a link in the description and I will have a little look, or in the comments rather. Right, there we are, that's off then. So we can thread that through there now. Hope we've got some cable ties up on now, let's just get those off. Now that's all undone, we can thread it through. Really, really worn that, guys. That is not very strong at all, but in fairness, it's done a lot of miles that. So we'll chuck that down on the floor. Now we can open the new Vitavon kit. So basically, this big top arm now is going to thread through the top of the truck, and then we are going to connect the vertical pieces where our skinny pieces were. It's like Christmas morning, this, guys. So these pieces here are going to go onto the back there, and then this piece, well, you got new screws in, that's great. That's going to go through the chassis there like the other one did, and then it's going to hook up onto there like that. That looks way stronger, guys. That's going to be awesome. Right, let's get that fitted. That's the front end on, guys, and I think you'll agree that looks absolutely epic. So just to reconfirm, that's what we've taken off, that skinny little piece. Look at the difference in that, guys. That's what we've swapped. That is going to be so much stiffer. It's hard to explain on camera, but it just feels better. So that's the front one we've changed. Look at that. I mean, that, let's be honest, that does not deserve on a £5 grand RAMINATOR truck, does it? Or thereabouts. So we'll get the other one put on, and then we can have a proper look at some of the other bits, but I'm really happy with that. Aside from drilling that one screw out, guys, which is not a surprise on an older RAMINATOR, that went on easy peasy. So let's get the other one on. I'm not going to bother filming it because it's exactly the same, and we'll get on to the next bit. Right, so I got both of these off. I just want to show you again the difference, because it's easier to show you when it's off the car. So that's what we've taken off. That's what we're putting on. Look at the difference in that. That's crazy. And the machining on these parts is absolutely fantastic. It really is nice stuff. It's not cheap, but buy cheap, buy twice, I reckon. Like, the difference this is going to make to that truck, having these tidy machined links rather than these old links with plastic ends on them, it's going to be unbelievable. And that there is really thin compared to this new one, so we'll chuck that on the floor out of the way. So essentially what we've got is these two nicely machined brackets that go up inside the chassis. These arms swing backwards or forwards in the case of the front one, and then these links there will go on the outside and then up under the axle housing. So we'll get this back one fitted on, and then we'll bring you back in. We can have a look at them both put on together. See how we get on. Right, let's bring you back in, guys, as we're just fixing the last piece on. I've got my blue thread lock. If anyone wants to leave a comment what one you use, that one is Granville thread lock. I've got a bottle of Taylor stuff under somewhere, that's also blue. So I never know, am I meant to be using blue or am I meant to be using red, or is there another colour you recommend, guys? So we don't want stuff coming loose, so we need to make sure we are thread locking stuff up. Again though, just look at the quality of that. That is really, really good machining. 70-75 aluminium, guys. doesn't weigh anything at all. It's going to be awesome. It's going to make such a difference to this truck, this. Get some thread lock on there. For a second, I don't know what one is best. That's the wrong screw. What the best one to do is, because there's 3 settings here, we can adjust it. So for now, I'm just putting it on the furthest one out, just so we can see. Obviously, it's going to be better. I can see straight away and feel how much tighter and stiffer the suspension is. So we got our thread lock on there. So yeah, I'm not sure where we need to be going with that. Loads of adjustability, which is good. So essentially what we want to do with this truck, guys, is get it absolutely covered in Vitavon bits, because they're obviously going to improve not only the handling but the look of the truck. And essentially I want to make it more bashable, because at the moment it's very, very fragile. It's getting on a bit, and I don't want to break stuff. If obviously we're aware in the media, not going to get into politics, the state of deliveries around the world. So you can't actually get any parts for these very easily by these Vitavon ones, which is not a bad thing, because from the quality I've seen today, it's far superior to the standard stuff, in all honesty. And when you look at the price of the standard stuff, there's not an enormous amount of difference in it, guys. So I'm going to tighten that last one up in a second, but that is all of it fitted. So let's just move the camera so you can have a better look. That's the front and the back fitted then. Like I say, I think you'll agree that looks way better. There's far less body roll on it. It looks better, it feels better, hopefully it'll drive better. So we're not going to take it out just yet. And the reason for that, aside from the fact I've got all the Vitavon bits to change for the steering, the rear diff in this one has gone. The front diff went a while back, but we fixed it, so we're going to take the rear diff out, which is not a bad thing, because with the Vitavon drive system, I'm led to believe you need to switch the diff around, so that's an excuse to do that anyway. But that is one first job done, guys. Absolutely awesome, love that. It feels way, way better than it did before. It's going to be a lot stiffer on the body roll, not the actual body fitting, because that's not put on properly. Would like to give my friend Rob a shout out. Yes, mate. I'm not going to send it like you do, Rob, because you're a bit crazier than me, but we are still going to enjoy it. So for now, that's all we're going to do for there. We'll get the wheels off and the body off again, and next thing we're going to do is concentrate on the Vitavon titanium steering link, which we have here. I showed you that just now. So we're going to get this fitted, and that is going to vastly improve the steering. Let's get on to that bit. I had another rummage in the Vitavon box, and I found a cap. Happy days, you know how much I love a cap. Right, now we've got the links on. Sway bars rather, we are going to put the steering on. This one is absolutely awesome. The quality of that, guys, I wish you could see on the camera. It is absolutely awesome. The weld on it, the machining, it's fantastic. So essentially, this one link is going to join up to a brand new machine servo saver. It's all 7075 and all this lot is titanium. And it's going to join with this link. So rather than having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces, we're essentially going to have 2. So that's going to really stiffen up the front end of this, because this, I don't know what other people's V1s are like. I don't know whether it's just a bit tired and old, I don't know, but this is really, really loose, and the steering has always been rubbish on this one. Not helped, admittedly, by the old 70k servos. The Gravedigger one, we got the limited one, that's got 100k's on it. So again, you can get stronger ones, but the difference between that one and this one steering-wise is night and day. So we're going to get this one on, but first, obviously, I've got to strip all this off. So I'm going to let you have a cup of tea for a second. I'll get all this stripped off, and when we're ready to put the new one back on, I'll bring you back in, and you can see where we're at. Let's get on it. Just want to show you really quickly, guys, before we get it fitted. I really hope you can see the quality of that. Look at the welding on that. It's absolutely perfect. And the quality of these bearings and things in here is unbelievable. It really is. And the size difference between that and the stock stuff is way, way bigger. It's going to be so much stronger. Just like the threads on it, you can see straight away there. Look how much thicker that new one is in my hand compared to the one that's on the truck. It's going to make such a difference. And the size of all these links is unbelievable. So basically we're going to take off that, that, and that. We're going to take off the servo saver. We're going to take that off, and that off. And again, you can see the difference in the size of these guys. What the heck, look at that. So much thicker. and again the thread. So I'm always worried about bashing this truck because it seems very fragile, but this is really going to help. And let's not forget, we've also got new Vitavon C hubs there, so we'd grab a quick look at those. Again, 7075 guys, absolutely epic looking thing. So we're going to get those put on there, not in this video, we'll do it on the next one, but we'll get the steering fitted to this first, and then we'll get the other mods on. So let's get all this stripped off, pop the kettle on, check back in 5. Now it's all stripped down and cleaned up, we can make a start getting this new system fitted. I am, however, going to change the front C hubs. I've got these nice new shiny Vitavon ones here. Again, 7075, nice new bearings in there. It just seems silly. If we got all this effort of stripping it down, we might as well fit these now. I was going to do them at a later date, but basically, I think all you got to do is knock the pin out of the drive shaft there, undo the 2 bolts, and it should slide out. Again, we can give it a good clean and get these new units fitted. So let's make a start. Let's get these changed. Well, so I've just given this a little tap through there, guys, and the pin has come out. So we'll keep that safe there. So all that should, in theory, I'll be entirely honest with you, I've never taken this apart. So we'll see. Oh, there we are, that's that off. That should come out now. So I've already broken the thread lock off on these. Again, I cannot stress enough on these trucks, guys, you've got to put heat on them because they just don't come apart. The screws are made of butter, yet they stick like goodness knows what, and you just cannot get them out. So we'll get all these off, and then we can get these nice shiny new pieces put in. The bearings are probably pretty cooked in this anyway, because like I say, it's a V1 truck, and it is certainly starting to get a bit tired now. There's loads of thread lock in there, no wonder that was hard to get out. Okay, that's the first one out. Sorry if my hands are in the way, guys. It's really tricky doing this and keeping you able to see and me able to see, because as far as I'm concerned, we're both as important to each other. If you can't see what I'm doing, you can't do it to your truck, and if I can't see what I'm doing, I can't do it to my truck to show you how to do it to your truck. Why that one come out of there? Is it coming out? Starting to. Okay, let's get this bottom one undone. Let's get those shiny new bits out of the way first. There you are. It's a bit easier on the bottom because you can spin it around. In hindsight, if you were going to do this job, guys, and you're going to change these sway bars and the C hubs and all the steering like I am at the same time, I would recommend maybe doing the sway bars last, because when I've been trying to undo these steering bolts, they have been in the way quite a lot. Yeah, right. I think that's one out the bottom. Can't get that top one out there, guys. Bit of thread lock stuck under there. I'll get a bit more heat on there. We'll slide this off. We'll get the new one out of the pack, because these look and feel so good. We've just got to get them on there. Alright, I've heated it up a bit more. There was loads and loads of thread lock on that one, guys, so I managed to get it out. So let's see how this works. I don't know if anything's going to fall off as we do it. The end of the drive shaft comes out, okay. Oh my goodness. How do we get that out at the end there? Let's just push it through, there we go, because we don't want the whole lot coming out, do we? There we are. Okay, right. Get the bearing off. I hope that bearing comes off. No, it doesn't. Do we need to change it, or was that staying on there? I think that stays on there, that bearing. Yes, it will, because there's one on there. And there's also one in the new pack. Forgive me if I'm stumbling doing this, guys, because I say I've never done it before. So which side is that? That's the right, which is the side that we need. Put the other one out of the way. So again, guys, the quality of the finish on that is unbelievable. Like, the machining on it is absolutely spot on. Really is nice. And the bit I love about this Vitavon kit is that it all comes with new screws. Every single piece I've done today has had a new screw with it, and trust me, that really does make a difference, especially on a truck like this where you end up drilling half of them out. So as you can see in there, that's all full of sand and pretty disgusting. So I'm going to get that cleaned up, and then we'll get this new part slid over. Right, that's all cleaned up in there now. So let's get the two together so we can have a quick comparison. Do seem very, very similar. The Vitavon is a lot beefier though. Certainly a chunkier bit of machining, and it feels quite a lot heavier as well. It does feel a lot more solid. So again, hopefully this is going to be a worthwhile upgrade for this truck. So we're going to get that put on there. I'm probably going to struggle with this, guys. So you're going to have to bear with me because it's very tricky doing this with a camera right in your face. I don't know how people manage to do it so well, because I really do struggle with this. Right, what seems like ages later, I took it back off, guys, cleaned all the shaft again, and it's gone on very nicely now. So I will thread lock these later, I promise. So I'm just going to pop these in just for a second so it doesn't all fall apart. So much nicer having new bearings in these, guys. It's going to make a massive difference to this. Right now we need to line this up then and knock this bar back through. So as you can see in there, there's a hole in there, and then that pin will go through the hole straight through the axle and out the other side. So let's jam that in there, knock that back through. If we get our grips on there, guys, we should be able to squish that back down. What we've done with them. There we are. Keep putting my tools down, I can't find where to put them. So that, let's see if that'll work. There we are, happy days, look at that, straight back through. There we are, give me one last squeeze. Great stuff. So when the wheel is on here, obviously it stops that pin falling out. It's one of the complaints with the extended ones, is that is not inside the wheel, so that pin can come out. So now we've got that on, guys, that's way nicer. Way nicer. Okay, we'll get those thread locked up later, so let's get the other side fitted, and then we can get the steering links on. Right, I've got the new one on. Got the new bearings already fitted in there, and we've got the drive shaft through. All I had to do on the other one, excuse me, knocking the tripod, the other one was really tight. I couldn't get it through the bearing at all, so I had to put the biggest socket I had in the toolkit at the time on the top there, just give it a tap with a hammer, and that knocked it through. So not ideal, but it did work. So let's get this threaded back through. So what we will do, we'll give that all a wipe in there, get rid of some of the sand and stuff out of there. Right, let's thread that back through. Thread that back through, and we got to obviously line it up. There we are, that's lined up in there. Excellent, excellent, there we are, great stuff. So put the hub back on. Again, it's exactly the same as the other side, guys. Just look what I'm doing a second, excuse if I'm in your way. And we can put the pin through there. Oh, even better, didn't need to squash out with the pliers, that one. So we've got nice new bolts. Again, I will put a thread lock on these, guys. I just want to get it together in some shape or form for a second. There we are. So that's both the new Vitavon C hubs on. So what I'm going to do, we'll pause for 5, give us a wipe down, and then we'll get the new kit fitted. But they are looking good. Like those, much beefier. Let's get you back in again, guys. Just to refresh, we've got the new Vitavon C hubs on. There's one on that side, all nice new bearings, new bolts, and we got the other one on there. These are so much nicer made than the ones that were on there, and a lot chunkier, so these are going to handle a lot more abuse when we're mild bashing. I say mild bashing because I really don't want to destroy this truck, guys, but again, with all these mods, there shouldn't be any reason why we can't bash it, because all these are vital, stronger upgrades. So what we're going to do now, we'll get this new servo saver up onto the post there, and we'll bridge it across to the two servos. We need to make sure we turn them on and center them first so they're not fighting each other, otherwise they'll be eating each other. And then we get all the links put on. So let's pop you back on the tripod a minute and we'll see how we get on doing that. Right, let's make a start getting this new steering system fitted. So again, thank you Vitavon for sending us all these awesome parts, and even more thank you for giving us nice new bolts to them, because new bolts really does make a flipping difference when you're doing a job, guys. So on this Raminator, I've had to drill out so many bolts over the various jobs that I've done over the years on it. That's not through lack of maintenance, guys. I do look after it, but they just get stuck and they're like butter. So, right, there we are. Those two are in there. Oh, that looks so much stronger already, guys. Awesome. Right, so we need to get the servo saver on. So we take the screws out. That on there. Oop. God, I'm terrible at dropping bolts today, guys. Take this top one out. And then that, I'm praying this fits over the standard post that's on there, guys. Really needs to. Oh, it does. Look at that. Excellent. Right, now that longer one, we'll get rid of that old one. Again, nice new bolt. Well done, Vitavon. That through there. that through there. And I'm just going to do this loosely for a second, guys, because I want to get it all set up first. Make sure everything reaches where it should do. And then we can get it all done. So again, I'm going to center these servos first before we go ahead and screw anything on. Right, which one are we going to use now? That one there. So we need a top hat. That's going to go through there. Just check that fits. Yes, it does. Does the top hat go through there? No, it doesn't. So we don't need to use those. I think these are for when you use the original things. I'll try it the other way. Yeah, it does go through that way, guys. Yeah, me being silly. Right, let's get that lined up on there. This feels so much better quality than what I've just taken off. If any of you are wondering where my glasses are, they're down there because I can't see anything close up with them on anymore, guys. Getting to that age where I need my glasses on. Glasses on to see long distance, glasses off to see what I'm doing close. I have to figure out how that's meant to tighten up, but imagine you tighten those. Yeah, I'll stop it then. Right, okie dokie. Let's get all these servos recentered. So we're going to turn the car back on. Shouldn't turn the car on first, as you know, but there's no wheels on it and it's up, lifted up. Turn the controller on. Again, we're using the Radiolink RC8X, guys. I use this for all my Grand Basher cars. Flipping great. There you are. So just make sure that's centered. Yes, it is. I can go back in there now. We've got some trimming up to do anyway, I would imagine. And I need an Allen key, so I'm going to have to cut the camera a second, guys, because that's quite tight, that screw there. Get that one lined up in there. And that is pretty much done. So let's get those Allen keys done up. And then we can come back and we can make sure it's all centered. Get the steering trims done. Oh, that feels so much better with all that new stuff in there, though. Right, let's do that. Let's get the Allen key. Let's get those set back. Okay, we're good. I found my Allen key. Right, let's make sure we're getting some thread lock on these little bolts, guys. Do not want anything coming undone on this thing. Get some up in all these steering components. I can't wait to try this out. It looks so much better. Get all these done up. Bit of thread lock on this one. I don't know what's better, guys. Something seal out the bottle. A couple of screws coming slightly loose and you can keep on top of them, or be an absolute nightmare to get out. But that being said, with a bit of heat on them, you can see when it sort of puffs out the burnt off thread lock, and it's not too bad to get them out then. Right, let's try that with my controller over here. It's going to be a bit loose, but I'll find in there. Something binding somewhere. Ah, that link dropping on there. Right, so we get all those tightened up, and then they're not going to go anywhere. Right, okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. Right, we need a bigger Allen key, which I've lost down here. Okay, let's get these tightened up. Right, even that one. Which one are we looking at? Nice big one, nice. Okay, get that tightened up. That's a smaller one. That's a bigger one. Tighten that. Get all these done up. It's taken a lot longer than I thought, but also hasn't been too bad. A couple of screws that I had to drill out as per with this, which I'll be honest with you guys, I was expecting to have to do that. But now we got a lot of nice new screws on there, so that's good. So we get these put in. And likewise, now I've taken off the original steering system, these links, sway bar links, are actually missing the axle now, whereas they were very, very close just now. Let's get that tightened up. I don't quite know how tight you're meant to do any of this, guys. I don't know if that's meant to stay loose like that, or is it meant to be tight? I can't see how it could be tight though, because all these are on ball joints. Okay, get that tightened up. All the lock nuts on there. Awesome, and that one. And that one. So what I'm going to need to do, it's pointless going too crazy. I've tightened all that up now on the lock nuts. We need to get all the steering in the centre. Otherwise it's going to be all over the place. So those servos are centred. That's not clicking and crunching now, but once that's held up, that'll be a lot smoother. Right, so what I need to do now is basically do the tracking on it. So I can see that one and that one, the steering is off to the right. So I want to do it mechanically rather than electronically with a servo. So I'm going to take these links off, wind one in and one out, and then that will get the steering centered. So let's do that now. We are pretty much there now, guys. Look how much stronger and tidier all that is. Don't forget, we've taken off 7 parts and we've put back on 4. We've also added these nice new CNC 7075 aluminium C hubs. And of course, earlier in the video, we did the sway bar links front and rear. So this truck is really getting some love now, guys. This is going to be so much better to drive. Like this steering, that is so much more solid than it was. Set it all back up, so it's all working. Much cleaner way of doing it, guys. So we'll try it as it is. I haven't, just for the record, Loctited these either end, because if I need to take them out to adjust it mechanically to do the tracking on it, they're going to be a nightmare to get out, so I don't want to do that. I got my servos happy there where they should be. That's all looking nice, 90 degrees in there. Servo horn savers at the bottom, 90 straight down from that one. So we are looking good, guys. So I'm going to put this front bumper piece back on. That piece there, guys, I don't know if you've seen the video a while back, that's what actually broke my knee. 13 stitches down to the bone. So let's get that back on, and then we can assess where we're going next with the beast. Let's do that. Let's get this back on. One important thing you must remember to do, guys, is put the washer back through. So nicely separated in the bag there. We pop that washer in there, and that is going to sort out the top of the servo saver. So we don't want that binding. So we pop that on there. Excellent. Need to lift that up because that's going to rub on it. Okay, we'll figure that out in a second. Maybe you can't run a front bumper with a Vitavon kit. We shall find out, guys. We shall find out. It's very close, though. I need to look at that. Right, let's get these bolts back in. Apologies if you can hear my belly rumbling, guys, but it is feeding time at the zoo here, so we're going to have to knock this short in a second and go and feed my dogs and myself and my son, because it is definitely feeding time now. He's back in there. Not convinced that he's going to clear that, guys. I've got to be honest. We will find out. We will find out. It's all part of trial and error building with the mods on trucks, isn't it? No, it does miss it. Just when it's not back on properly. We'll get it in there now. We'll get it in there. It's like putting a car wheel on. You've got to vary one to the other, otherwise it pulls at an angle, and then you never get it on there. Got to go on square. Very close, that steering arm though, guys. Very close. There we are. It is touching, but then there's no pressure on it. So maybe we can adjust it up a tiny little bit on these. But it is all working. Doesn't feel like there's any resistance on there. I've got to change these servos though, because they really are rubbish. So more rubbish, speaking of rubbish. So that is the end of this video, guys. We've got the sway bars on there, we've got the C-hubs on there, and we've got the titanium steering link set up. So we'll try it as it is. No, we won't. I'm lying. I'm telling you lies. We're not going to try it as it is. I'm going to get the electric kit in. So don't forget, we've still got all this to put in. Excuse me turning my back on you. We've got the Vitavon electric conversion kit, so we'll get that fitted. Miles is just coming in the door there to tell me he needs feeding. There's the gearbox. We'll get that fitted, and we'll get the titanium ends on the shocks, and then we can take it for a rip. Stay tuned, guys.